Hi guys, hi and welcome live to this, live, review, and we are going to see Cyberpunk, the new footage, and yeah, it's gonna be very interesting, I hope. So, hi to everyone in the chat, hi to James, and thank you once again for your contribution this time as well. Hi to Clayton and Seriche. So, we are waiting for this to start any minute now. I hope that you can see me, hear me, and all of those things. I again worked out, so if you're wondering why I'm like this. So yeah, they said that they're going to present, new gameplay. We're going to have something new that looks very interesting called Braindance. What the heck could that be? I guess something that is connected to the plugin. If you plug into somebody's head or whatever, and what to tell ya? I'm just excited. But as I always say, I really would have preferred if this game had a third-person option, which for now it does not seem like it's gonna have third person. But I just, love to see the character. So yeah, guys, are you excited for Cyberpunk? I know that for a lot of people this is one of the most anticipated games this year, and it's been delayed so many times that it's kind of became, absurd. But we do know how is the situation right now in the world, so that also, has something to do with it for sure. They all have to work at home, to finish the game, and in such a game that there's so much world building, there's so much to look after, so many bugs that could happen, in this open world area. Anything can happen. You have to watch out for bugs, to say the least. So it's an open world game, and those guys are one of the best. I know that they know what they're doing. Hi to Jack the Gamer, hi to you, hi Kendrick, hi to you as well. So, I have no doubt that CD Projekt Red could make an amazing game. Now, as a setting itself is not like my dream setting, not even close, but I don't think that they're gonna make, any kind of a boring or whatever game there is, although it's not, my setting. That doesn't mean that the game for me is not going to be good as well. I'm now more interested, in the game than ever. Hey James, hi to you once again, and thank you for your donation. So yeah, guys, but let me know how you are in terms of anticipation of this game. Is it one of the most anticipated games for you particularly? Now, after I finish The Last of Us, I'll be looking forward to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, although that's going to be like, it's not gonna be anytime soon, but still, this is just the game that I'm going to be most looking forward to. Of course, Ghost of Tsushima, but I will not be able to get that game quite yet. So there's that. Oh boy, 20 something seconds here. Yeah, less than 1 minute. Whew. Yeah, well, I can't wait for Assassin's Creed Valhalla gameplay as well. I'm going to be covering that. Hey, Cumberbeat. Oh, this looks so cool. I probably will have to talk.
Hello and welcome to this, the very first episode of Night City Wire, a brand new series from us at CD Projekt Red, where we'll be talking about all things Cyberpunk 2077. For today's episode, we'll be starting with a brand new trailer. One of our developers will be joining us to help unpack everything you're going to see. We'll have some news, an announcement about a secret collaboration. We'll be taking a look at some Braindance gameplay and welcoming back our developers just to have a chat about everything you're going to see. But there is one more thing. Media all over the world have been getting hands-on with Cyberpunk 2077, and when this episode finishes, you'll be able to go and check out exactly what they thought. So, let's get started. It is time to take a look at our brand new trailer, and after that, our lead quest designer Pavel Sasko will be joining us because I've got a feeling you're gonna have a few questions after watching this. So, let's take a look.
Hey, Ivy.
Love this town. The city of endless opportunity. Ready to get your cherry popped? Yeah, come on!
City like any other, just bigger.
Nah, mano, not just any other city. Legends are born here.
The Major Leagues. We're only here because Dex is pulling the strings. Doubt that puts us in the same league as them.
But we are. They just don't know it yet. But if you got the cojones and you know how to use them, you can do damn near anything.
Unless you catch a bullet.
Even then, you go out with a bang, right?
You know, you can make heaps more eggs as a motivational speaker.
Yo, Mr. V, a pleasure.
So what's the gig, Dex? You meant to come out in one piece? How about we go over the plan?
There's this prototype tech, a biochip to be precise. Jobs to grab it.
Guessing it belongs to a corp.
Arasaka.
We're robbing some heavy hitters.
Thought you could blackmail me, fucker!
High risk, high reward. First rule of the afterlife.
Ka-ching, baby.
Goes without saying, we do this on the hush. Ideally, no bodies, not a one.
Sounds simple enough.
Eat lead, assholes!
Is it gonna be dangerous?
Don't you worry, mi amor. We're bulletproof. Get your ass moving now!
Oh, what the fuck just happened in there?
Can't stop digging Night City.
Fucking Major Leagues. Happy now, Jackie?
Yep, that's fucking high! Time to bail!
Oh my god, we're so fucked.
Oh boy. It looks very dynamic.
What the fuck?
Can't risk it, V.
And you, who are you?
Fuck.
Ooh. That was Keanu, freaking Keanu.
So the trailer contains footage from the game's prologue only, but there was an awful lot in it. So Pavel, why don't you try and help us unpack everything that we just saw?
Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely, I can try. So, what you have just seen is only the prologue of the game. So that awesome stuff is only happening in the first few quests. What the trailer shows you is really our stage, the Night City. You know, this gigantic city built of 6 completely unique districts, surrounded by the 7th one that we call the Badlands. As a player, you are meeting Jackie. Jackie's your friend. Now, they together are trying to reach out for something that is very precious. They are trying to reach out for this chip of immortality, this gateway to eternal life. Jackie introduces you to Fixer Dexter Deshawn. He's a very important person in the social ladder of Cyberpunk. He is able to provide the player with various jobs and contracts to be able to gather money, to be able to modify their bodies, push themselves to the limits, to put their hands on the chip. But
that's my
as you can
car.
expect, not everything goes as planned, and but to see it, you will have to play the game.
There are an awful lot of really cool things in this trailer, and there's a few that I would just love to talk about a little bit more for the people at home. So let's start with talking about a gang called the Mox. Now, we see a few flashes of them in this trailer. I personally think they're really cool and one of my favorites, but can you give us a little bit more information about them?
Oh yes, so the Mox is one of the gangs that player is going to interact with throughout the game. The Mox is the gang that has been formed in 2076 after death of Elizabeth Borden. She was called Lizzie. Now, she was an owner of a brothel and former sex worker, and she was protecting working guys and girls from harassment, from abuse, and the gang is really continuing her mission. And as a player, you're going to interact with that gang, meet multiple different NPCs, and craft your own relationship with them, and understand what they are all about.
So earlier on, you did mention a 7th district, a place called the Badlands. Now, we saw a few shots of this in the trailer, but I'd love for you to give us a bit more detail about the district outside of the city walls.
Okay, so the Badlands is this like dead, dried out space going around the whole Night City. And as a player, you'll be able to traverse that space in your car or motorcycle. This is a space that is inhabited by the nomads. Nomads are living in the different families and they're traveling across that space in convoys made out of the cars and motorcycles. And as a player, you'll be able to traverse and access different type of open world content that has been prepared specifically for you to get that awesome feel of the Badlands as an area.
In the trailer, we also saw like a completely metal creature. Now, he didn't look like he was from the Maelstrom gang. This looked like something else. So please tell the people at home, who is this giant metal monster?
Okay, so that big dude, that was Adam Smasher. He has been introduced in pen and paper in Cyberpunk 2020 by our senpai Mike Pondsmith. Adam Smasher is a fully converted cyborg. He was always a loyalist of Arasaka. And time has changed, and in 2077 he had to find his own space in Night City. But to find out, you'll have to play the game.
In this trailer, we do see some flashes of a Ripper Doc called Victor Vector. I think if people have watched our previous gameplays, they might remember him. But I'd really like for you to give the people at home some more information about what Ripper Docs are and how they'll be interacting with them when they play Cyberpunk.
Hi to you. Haven't seen you in a while.
Ripper Docs in our game, they are surgeons. They are like a specific type of a job in the social ladder of Cyberpunk.
Especially that there's a place that is there.
Specialized in replacing limbs to the metal ones. They can basically update your body, enhance your body, change you into this walking war machine. And as a player, you are going to meet different kinds of Ripper Docs in the game, craft your own relationship with them. Some of them are like important characters for a story. Through that, you will invest eddies that you're gathering to turn your body into this tool that allows you to survive on the streets of Night City.
Pavel, thank you so much for joining us. I know you'll be back later in the episode because you're going to be helping us to analyze the Braindance gameplay. But before that, we do have some news to share. Earlier in the year, we announced that if you pick up Cyberpunk 2077 on Xbox One, you'll be able to play it on Xbox Series X when the console launches. And just in case you missed it, it will be the same for PlayStation players as well. If you pick up Cyberpunk 2077 on PlayStation 4, you'll also be able to play it on PlayStation 5 when the console launches.
Oh, that's great.
And that's not all. There will be a free upgrade for Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, but we'll have more details on that soon.
Tonight City.
That's great. That's great.
Before we reveal our first look at the Braindance gameplay and welcome back our developers for a chat, there is just one more thing we want to announce. Something that we've been working on in secret for a while. We are very excited to announce our partnership with Studio Trigger and Netflix to bring you Cyberpunk Edgerunners, a standalone anime set in the Cyberpunk universe, which we've been working on for some time now.
Really?
Edgerunners is due to launch in 2022, but for some more information, let's go to the team in Tokyo.
Wow, so we're going to have an anime as well.
Hi, my name is Saya Elder. I am the Japan-based producer for Cyberpunk Edgerunners. What I do basically on this project is that I am a fixer, to put it in the words of the Cyberpunk universe. We are a game company. We are a bunch of nerds, and wherever there are nerds, there's gonna be anime fans. So it was always a dream for us to make anime. When we began this project, we were certain that we didn't want to make a recreation of the game. Cyberpunk Edgerunners is a standalone story set in the same universe. The stage is still Night City, but everything else is totally new. New characters, new story. I do like to think that it's going to be a great gateway for newcomers to come and check Cyberpunk game and also the Cyberpunk genre as a whole.
Interesting.
Right now we're in Nakano, which is one of the biggest anime meccas of the world. I'm going to take you to Studio Trigger right now because we have the wonderful opportunity to talk to the dream team that will be bringing you this anime.
こんにちは。トリガーの代表取締役の大塚です。
監督の今石です。
キャラクターデザインを担当する吉成です。
Yeah, it's good
ゲ
to
ームの
expand,
サイ
you
バーパン
know,
クのファン
the
の方、
universe.
今回初めて触れる方両方に満足していただけるようにアニメを作るつもりです。よろしくお願いします。
今回はそのサイバーパンクという僕らが10代の一ファンにしか過ぎなかった頃に生まれたジャンル、そういうジャンルのものをまた、時代が何周もして作れるというのが非常に楽しみです。
トリガーも10年ということで、監督に今井氏、キャラクターデザインに吉成というトリガーの最強の布陣で、トリガー10周年にふさわしい作品にしていきたいと思います。お楽しみに。
Huh, it looks so cool. It's gonna be on Netflix. I'm pretty sure it's going to be very interesting.
Now it is time to show you some gameplay of Braindance. This is a feature that you'll experience when you play Cyberpunk 2077. Braindance is essentially a recording of somebody else's experience. It allows you to relive their sense of sight, smell, touch, and even hearing, all thanks to a special device. After the gameplay, I will be welcoming back Pavel Sasko, and will also be joined by Patrick Mills, our senior quest designer and all-round lore master, who will be helping to answer your questions and give you some explanation on how you'll be interacting with Braindance when you play Cyberpunk 2077.
Boy.
So, let's take a look.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out. And we sell the BD to those psycho freaks from the studio.
Got it.
And remember, everything on full blast. They'll spot us extra for a wicked adrenaline high. Okay, on you go.
Down! Everybody! On the ground! I want to see you kissing the flooring! Money! Now! Or I will fucking drop you! I swear to God! Well, yeah, hey... now! Before I blow your fucking head off!
Unpleasant. For me, very
Slow, deep
unpleasant.
breaths. Your cortisol and adrenaline spiked, but the soft activated your hormone blockers. Nothing happened. You're alive and well.
That was too much. Could feel the guy's pain, his stress, his
Jesus.
hope wrapped up in something else.
Yeah, let's take the graphics card from this time.
Probably took a booster just before.
Probably nothing of today will run. Who knows?
Set up. Let's switch over to editing mode.
It may run with 500 FPS.
I'll sever the link to the BD Roller's sensory array. You'll be able to look around freely. Whole scene's yours. Full cam control in analysis mode, so move around, zoom in and out, whatever else you come up with. Think of it as your own little sandbox. So, analysis mode, you control playback. Can even pause when you feel the need. Then you use the editor console to unpause. Try it.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out. And we sell the BD to those psycho freaks from the studio.
Got it.
Cream as hell, right? Well, that's not all. You can speed things up or rewind, whatever you like. Give it a try. Rewind, roll it back to the top. All good, neat. Now try fast forwarding a bit.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out.
Okay. You can also reset the recording. That'll take you right back to the beginning. Try it.
What are we going to do with this feature? Exactly.
This here's why you came in the first place. In analysis mode, you get to view and even scan details of the enviro recorded by the BD roller. Focus on the heat, the gun this gonk gets from his buddy at the beginning. Now scan it.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out. And we sell the BD to those psycho freaks from the studio. And remember,
okay, right here. Excellent. Let's move on. Now heads up. In analysis mode, you can ferret out background noise and conversations if the roller got close enough. This tech records everything, every little detail, even the sights and sounds the roller was never aware of. To see the sources of the recorded sensory signals, switch to the audio layer in the editor. Go ahead and try that now. Okay,
Jesus.
good. Now you should see several sound signatures in the store. Choose one and hone in on it.
That's like investigation to the 10th degree.
Okay, we have a deal today on 2 flavors, curry and surf. Everybody,
So, any thoughts?
Unbelievable. Seriously, like what's happening right next to me.
Yeah, it's how BD recording implants work. They pick up everything, all the elements in the background. Then an editor tweaks them, makes them pop. Keep playing with the sound, explore it a bit. We'll move on when you get bored.
Oh, I'm already bored personally by this function. I just want to play actively, not
extra layers in the raw.
go into this side mechanics.
Like what?
Ev's got Kiroshi optics that grab infrared, meaning you should be able to grab heat signatures from her recording.
Huh. Hella nice.
Scanning works on peeps, too. Walk up to the wounded chick. Try scanning her. Alright, next thing. Scroll forward to the part where our artist gets a lead injection.
Or I will fucking drop you, I swear to God! Well, now, fucking head off!
See that? They shot him and he never saw it coming. But you will. Here it comes. My favorite part of the game. See the blinking thing over the entrance? Surveillance cam. Must have caught our shooter. You'll see in a sec. Cam feeds to the screen behind the clerk. Roll back to where the screen's in the kid's field of vision, then scan it.
I think this is just the tutorial for the mechanic at first.
His own Chumba shot him. Probably planned to all along. Must have got a nice slice of cred on the black market for a BD like this. BD freaks are ready to pay a preem for a real flatline. Anyway, if you've seen enough, you can exit.
It's a perfect investigative.
Yeah, it's impressive, right? It's too bad most of the BDs we do here are only good for flogging the log.
So Braindance is a pretty big part of the Cyberpunk universe. It's not just something used for adult films. There is an awful lot to it. And there's 2 sides I'd really like you guys to help me explore. First is the lore, so how this actually fits into the universe. And then there's the gameplay side, so how players will be interacting with it. So Patrick, could you tell us more about the lore of Braindance?
Yeah,
I would love to. So in the world of Cyberpunk 2077, Braindance was invented way back in the early 2000s at UC Santa Cruz. It was developed as a way of recording a person's experiences and then playing them back for someone else so that they could relive them as though it was happening to them. It was originally used for things like therapy and prisoner rehabilitation, but by 2077 it's become this global media industry, including things like movies, mass entertainment, things like that, video games, some interactive things, and of course adult fare as well. Now in our game we deal a lot with black brain dances, or XBDs as we call them, and there are different types of those, but the one that you saw in the trailer just there was a flatliner. Now that's where the person recording it actually died.
What the heck happened? It's loading?
Kind of a thrill. But
it's
a mercenary can also use them for various things, and you'll see that in the game, of course.
And from the gameplay perspective, we have been working a lot throughout last years trying to figure out the best way how to use the Braindance in the game as a mechanics. So what we have settled on is this Braindance editor mode. As a player, you will be able to run the Braindance in the editor mode and see different clues that have been registered on the peripheral of given actor. Now, as a player, you can slide on the timeline of the recording back and forth, trying to uncover different clues. And that clues are actually telling a story in the game. So as a player, you will run different investigations that will lead you to different mysteries, and you will uncover them actually using that Braindance as a mechanics in the game.
Oh no.
So, as Pavel was saying, we use Braindance as a storytelling tool. It's not a collectible. It's not something where you're going to go in
That
and
for
you're
me
going
is
to play it and you're going to be like, I've
extremely
seen this
boring
before.
way to
What
play.
we use Braindance for is to give you a keyhole into the life of the residents of Night City. And we can explore things like childhood trauma, religion, various philosophical ideas in a way that you might not otherwise experience in a story about a mercenary on the tough
too
streets.
deep to the
So
point
we've
where
tried to talk about some of the
just don't want
aspects that we in the
planet.
community will find really exciting, but you know, while you're both here, I'd
I'm
love
just
to know
gonna die from
what is it
boredom.
about
Have
Cyberpunk
to
that
play
you
this.
guys are really excited for? Patrick, why don't you start?
So one of the things that I'm most excited about in this game is the characters and the way they interact with the world. We've got this really interesting world that stretches all the way back to the Cyberpunk 2020 source material and all of these events and all of those things, but those don't mean anything unless they connect with characters. And so when we come up with a character, we start with their function.
Deep
What is
game
this person?
mechanic,
What do they
you know,
do in the
so
story?
detailed.
But we
I've
don't
never
stop
seen
there.
it
We go back
done
and
in
we
the
figure
other
out what was
games
their
before.
childhood like, what was their upbringing like,
for
what
me,
kind of
just
obstacles
too
did they
much
face
detail
in this
to-
harsh reality, and did they
takes me
overcome
away
them,
from
and
the
how
game.
did they overcome them,
I
or
want
did they
to
not
be
overcome them,
there,
and why?
you know. I don't
And
want
you
to
can
get
see all of
into
those things
systems and look
in their
through
environment,
doors
in
and
their dialogues,
do- I
in
mean,
sort of how they
to-
operate in the world.
to the
And
Matrix
we come
instead
up with
of
that for
actually
all of
being
our
there,
characters. Now you look at someone like
playing,
Victor
you know,
Vector, and you're going to
physically.
see stories about his past in his environment and in his dialogue. You know, we come up with that stuff even if we don't use it in the game because it helps inform us as to who these characters are.
And for me, I would not be myself if I would not say that I'm the most excited about our quests. Like with our Witcher 3 team, with Patrick
Yeah,
and like everybody that
stuff like
has
this to be
stayed with us
active in
since
the
the Witcher
world
3 time, we
and
really
not
have grown
spend
so much.
an hour
we have learned so much, and
or
we have
even
used
10 minutes
all that experience
in a
to
mechanic
put them
like this,
into the
like this searching
quest
for
that we have
something.
made.
I'm just gonna be
and you
bored
will not
out of
find
my mind.
really a filler in this game. Like everything has a meaning. Like we put so much effort into making sure that everything is rewarding, is interesting, is talking about characters, as Patrick said, is talking about worlds, is talking about emotions, like touching the player in a really, like a real way. And I just can't wait to find out what you think.
Pavel, I know you mentioned story and quests and writing quests, and when I was last in the studio, I had a look and I saw a notebook on your desk, and I would love for you to show everybody this notebook.
Okay, Holly, I mean, you asked for it. So this is my notebook. It says Salsa Quest Designer. The reason is because I dance salsa, and I'm a quest designer, so you know. So I started this notebook actually when we were really starting Cyberpunk. At the very beginning, I wrote like a first note, and it says pretty much something along the lines of that we were starting with a prototype. And then, you know, I kept on basically noting things that we've been working on for like next years. I remember once when our concept artists actually approached me, and they said that they want to take a look on my notebook. I was like, what for actually? And they took some pictures, and they told me, yeah, well, you know, because we are looking for a reference material for notes of a psychopathic killer. so yeah, well, you may find maybe some of my notes.
I understand that, but I mean, understand the
Pavel and Patrick, thank you so much for
amount
joining
of
me.
work done
I'm pretty
here.
lucky because I have read some of the stories that you and the team have written for Braindance, and I'm pretty excited for people to discover them. But before we do finish today's episode, there is just one more thing we'd like to talk about. Earlier in this episode, I mentioned that media have been getting hands-on with the opening of Cyberpunk 2077, and they should be posting their impressions right about now. And if you missed anything from today's episode, don't worry, we'll be uploading everything to our channels very soon.
Okay.
And finally, on behalf of everybody at CD Projekt Red, we just want to say thank you so much for joining us for this, the very first episode of Night City Wire. But don't worry, we'll be back with episode 2 in just a few weeks. So, we shall see you soon.
Okie dokie. Okay, guys. So, let me just, you know, tell you what I think now, because I didn't want to interrupt the show that much. I wanted to hear everything out as to, you know, as best as I can. That is the thing that I'm worried about in this game. You know, too much realism and too much details could take you so much out of the game, at least with me. I mean, there's a lot of people, I know such people that just love to get lost in the world completely, into role play, and just to sit on tables and in different clubs even, and talk to NPCs for hours on end. I'm just not this type of a player. To this type of a player, however, I'm pretty sure that those game mechanics are going to be like the meat of the game. But for me, it's so extremely and incredibly boring. I just cannot explain it. It's just, to me, it's not what I look for as a player in any game. I love to get lost in the story, but not in that way. I just love, what to tell games like Uncharted and Assassin's Creed, where stories are told through cutscenes, and you go, and that drives the story forward, and you go from one adventure to the other, and that leads to the next segment. It's just the type of game that I love. The Witcher also was immersive enough, detailed enough, but never on the nose, or like too much on something. I don't want to linger into particular part of the game so long, especially for something that is like a mini game. I just see those things like mini games that are not, you're not inside of the world, but you are in the world inside of a machine, and you're looking for something somewhere. That is perfectly fine for a bit, but you have so many mechanics, and you have to learn that as well, to learn how to, well, now check this camera, scan this. Oh, let's see. Oh, who killed that guy? Oh, it was this guy from, quarter 77 or something. I mean, who cares? Instead of, if their intention is to make us be more interested in the game, to me, that's like a turn off. It's the opposite effect. I'm just getting more and more bored, and I'm not interested in the world, and I'm not interested in the game by this point. And I couldn't care less about all of those characters, because they all look the same to me, and they're all so generic to me. No matter how the friend that I'm supposed to have in the game acts all friendly and drinks whiskey and all of that, I just don't care. It's not something that is it's actually getting me into the game and making me care. The total opposite. So sometimes the great effort to immerse you into a game is just has the opposite effect, at least with me. So that's exactly what I'm worried about in this game. First, I was kind of worried about. I mean, when I say worried about, it's just to say that, yeah, maybe this is something that I will not like, but let's see. Let's wait it out. That is how I approach things. Of course, if I get to play this game ever, I'm going to tell you what I think from first hand, and I'm not going to pull stuff out of my butt and say that I don't like something if I do like it, or the opposite. Of course, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I think. So the point is that I was worried at the beginning that this game is first person. I will not be able to see my character ever. So that is the first, I love to play first person games like Call of Duty and Battlefield and maybe Crisis, let's say. But to story driven game that's supposed to be like The Witcher, like Assassin's Creed, in terms of open world, you go there, you go here, and it's to be and if it's first person, and like Skyrim, let's say, if it's first person and you cannot change like in Skyrim to third person, that's the first turn off for me. I want to have this choice, or at least to be in the third person. I'm not more immersed if it's in first person. I'm not, because I don't see my character. So the fact that I don't see my character and the body of the character actually is the opposite to me of of immersing. Then now, I mean, not then, but now that I see that we are going to have this game mechanic that it seems like it's emphasized a lot, and they want to say that it's a big part of the game. Oh gosh, no, I just cannot imagine that in every other quest, let's say, because that's how it sounded, I'm going to be entering such a, gameplay mechanic, so I have to investigate what the heck happened and go somewhere. If the game story is driven by how I am doing in those, in that brain dance mechanic, that's gonna be so repetitive to me, so extremely boring. I'm probably gonna lose any interest in the game in the first few hours. So this is just my concern, because for now what I am seeing of the game is, great graphics. I really actually am impressed by the graphics, because for an open world game they just look so substantial. They don't look like cartoon, cartoon box, how a cartoon looks like an empty thin object, but everything looks very substantial, and that is not so oftenly seen in a lot of open world games, depending on how open the world is in the first place, of course. So there's that. It's great. Driving looks great. Everything that they do with their hands, the attention to detail is freakishly amazing, and I'm very happy that they tried to put so many different details in a lot of things, but enough is enough to a point. Once again, it just depends on what you actually want to get out of the game. I just want to have a cool action experience, with a great story that will make me want to go forward and play it. And we'll see if that is the case. Once again, if I even get my hands on it. That's another topic on its own. But that's why at first this game did not attract me that much. And now that I see that, instead of attracting me more, I'm kind of like, this just more convinces me that that's not for me. But I'm gonna leave, of course, any final, judgments, because I can't know for sure if I don't play it. I'm gonna leave all of that for when I play it. But for now, my impressions are these. Now let's see what your impressions are, guys, from the comments. Okay. Reading. And by the way, I just thought about this. Very cool dialogue in how they talk, how the girl voices. Oh, well, you can play around with this graphics. And oh, that is cool, but it's not gonna make me want to play the game. The fact that that sounds cool does not mean that they made it so I'm not now very compelled to play it. Because sometimes, they think that if they make all of the dialogue sound so cool and hip and whatever, that's gonna give substance to the game. But to me, totally not what gives it substance. It's great and it's important, but I can look through that directly. Yeah, she did, Ivy. What it is her job to be excited for this. Yeah, maybe in episode 2, Milkshake, they're gonna give us more gameplay. Yeah, well, if I can skip that mechanic, that's gonna be awesome. So yeah, if I can shoot my way into getting answers. Well, I did see, the previous gameplay where you had the choice whether or not you approach a situation guns blazing or just, you try a diplomatic way. If that's the case, I'll most likely shoot my way through everything, because that's more fun. If I'm going to play a first-person game and I'm not going to have any choice to switch to third person, I'm just gonna probably go through everybody and see what the heck happens. Because that's interesting thing, see what the heck happens. And if you have some kind of a choice to see how you can play the game and still go through it, then I'm just gonna choose whatever is more fun for me, of course. I'm the gamer, I'm the one who plays the game, so I can choose whatever I want, whatever way that is available, so to speak, that's more suitable to my gaming style. Okay, reading, guys. Yeah, hi, Storm. Hey, Michael, hi. So, yeah, what I wanted to say is the other example with Red Dead Redemption, the new game. The game looks great. I started playing it. And then I just had to sell it. I just sold it as soon as I could without finishing it because I just couldn't stand anymore to play this game. Every 2 seconds, feed the horse. Every 2 seconds, feed the human. Every 2 seconds, the human needs to, well, I don't know, drink water. The human needs to go to his village and put something into the fire and bring something to the settlement. Every 2 seconds, the horse is now falling down the rocks because, well, it's falling down the rocks. I'm like, wow, if I was playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey now, and I do realize those games are totally different. They're totally different. They're still like action RPGs, but they're totally different in the way that they're done. But if I was playing Assassin's Creed, because they do have some kind of a measurement where to go with the realism and where to stop, where to go. And then if I kill my unihorse, I just gotta have another unihorse, and that is what I prefer to respawn. To have this level of realism. Not to have it at all, because I'm enjoying the game. I'm going to the story. I'm murdering, soldiers, Athenians, Greeks, whatever. I am making 1,000 slashes with my sword. The guy is dead like 10 minutes ago, but I'm still slashing with the sword. It's just so much more fun, and in Red Dead Redemption, I was bored out of my mind. Just so bored. So bored. And the dialogue was boring, and the, how instead of just traveling with your horse, you just travel with your horse to some point, and then you see like a montage, like in a western. There's these big lines on the top of the screen and the bottom, and you just see the horse like going, and I'm like, I just want to play it. Give me I just want to drive, not to drive, but to ride my horse throughout all of those prairies or valleys or whatever on my own, not to see this kind of like fast travel montage of the freaking horse. So that's not realistic, but then, that is not the not realism part. But then you get this next moment where you feed the horse every 5 seconds and you feed the human, and you barely have any money to buy anything in the game. So it's not a waste of my life. For me, that's how I feel it, and I just prefer not to have this much of realism. It's just so off-putting. If you want to play, if you want to have so much realism, real life is happening 24/7. So you can have that. At least, once again, guys, this is just my preference as a gamer, nothing else. I'm not putting this on anyone. It's just my personal preference, how I like to play the games, how I see the games as a way of entertainment, enjoyment, something to discuss with you guys, to share with you. So yeah, just not my thing. But once again, we're gonna see. We're gonna see, guys. So I'm just reading again. Yeah, Michael, I'm happy that you joined. But definitely not from day one, yeah. Breathing simulator. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I don't need such things. Definitely don't need such things. Imagine that. How did you die? I choked on food. Oh, Jesus. Okay, guys. So that was it. That was my live coverage of this first. I didn't know that this is gonna have episodes. So we're going to have an episode for a game that's supposed to be coming out any minute, but we're still going to have episodes. Okay, they keep respawning it, keep respawning it, but yeah, if they know why. Now, guys, it's 7:40. I'm going to take a break and then return with The Last of Us. So, thank you very much, guys, for watching. Thank you for your support. Love you as always, dear Garrities. If you would like to get into my, awesome OnlyFans and content on sex education and physique updates, you can check the links down below. Until next time, me G reviews, and of course join my The Last of Us 5, number 5 stream series to see what the heck is gonna happen with Ellie. If you like. Kisses. Bye bye.